In the heart of Washington, D.C., a pivotal moment is unfolding as the leaders of the United States and South Korea come together for a high-stakes summit. This meeting is more than just a diplomatic formality. It's a symbol of the enduring partnership between two nations that have stood side by side for decades, weathering both triumphs and challenges. The atmosphere is charged with both tension and anticipation. Around them, the world watches closely, aware that the decisions made here could have far-reaching consequences. The stakes are high, and expectations from both sides are even higher. Recent disagreements over trade policies and defense spending have tested the strength of their alliance. Yet despite these challenges, both nations recognize the importance of this summit as a unique opportunity, a chance to reset strained relations, address lingering issues, and lay the groundwork for a stronger, more resilient partnership moving forward. The agenda is ambitious and urgent. Modernizing their military alliance is at the forefront, as both countries face evolving security threats. Countering North Korea's unpredictable actions remains a top priority, with recent missile tests serving as a stark reminder of the region's volatility. At the same time, the rise of China as a regional power adds another layer of complexity. Managing China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific is a shared concern, prompting both leaders to strategize on maintaining balance and stability in the region. One of the most contentious issues on the table is defense cost sharing. The United States is urging South Korea to contribute more financially to support the American military presence on the peninsula, a point of friction that has sparked public debate and political protests in both countries. Both presidents understand that compromise and collaboration are essential. Finding common ground is not just about resolving current disputes. It's about ensuring the long-term stability and effectiveness of their alliance in an increasingly uncertain world. But the summit isn't solely focused on security. The leaders are also looking to the future, exploring new avenues for cooperation in cutting-edge technology, strengthening supply chains to withstand global disruptions, and fostering innovation through joint research and development. Collaboration in global health is another key priority, as both nations seek to prepare for future pandemics and improve public health outcomes worldwide. These efforts signal a broader, more adaptive partnership that goes beyond traditional military ties. Ultimately, the outcome of this summit will not only redefine the U.S.-South Korea relationship, but also shape the security and prosperity of East Asia for years to come. The world is watching as a new era in this vital alliance begins. Economic friction has added new complexity to the long-standing relationship between the United States and South Korea. Once defined primarily by security cooperation and shared democratic values, the alliance now faces a new set of challenges rooted in global trade dynamics and shifting economic priorities. As the world becomes more interconnected, the stakes for both nations have never been higher. The U.S.-South Korea alliance, while strong, is being tested by these economic tensions. Both countries recognize that their partnership must evolve to address not only military threats, but also the economic realities of the 21st century. Recent U.S. tariffs on South Korean imports, ranging from steel to automobiles, have sparked significant concern in Seoul. These measures have made trade policy a top priority at the upcoming summit, as South Korean leaders seek to protect their nation's export-driven economy from further disruption. Both sides are acutely aware of the risks. A full-blown trade war could damage not only their own economies, but also the broader global market. It could undermine the trust and strategic partnership that have been carefully built over decades. The United States is pushing for tighter economic alignment with South Korea, especially in critical industries like semiconductors, electric vehicles, and advanced technology. This is part of a broader strategy to counter China's rapid economic rise and to secure supply chains that are vital for both national security and economic growth. For South Korea, stable and predictable access to the U.S. market is absolutely vital. The country's president is expected to seek strong assurances from American leaders, aiming to protect South Korea's export-driven industries and ensure continued prosperity for its people. The core challenge is that the United States increasingly views trade through a security lens, linking economic policy to broader geopolitical goals. In contrast, South Korea's main priority is economic stability and growth, which sometimes leads to differing perspectives on trade agreements and regulations. The upcoming summit is more than just a diplomatic event. It's a crucial opportunity for both nations to bridge these differences. By fostering open dialogue and mutual understanding, they can work toward a more resilient and adaptive economic partnership. True success at the summit will mean more than just resolving the immediate issue of tariffs. It will require both countries to lay the groundwork for a partnership that can withstand future global uncertainties, adapt to changing economic landscapes, and continue to thrive in an unpredictable world. Modernizing the US-South Korea military alliance is urgent as North Korea advances and China's influence grows. Both nations agree their security pact must evolve to meet new threats. This means updating strategies, integrating new technologies, and clarifying each partner's role. The US wants South Korea to boost defense spending and readiness, while South Korea seeks more autonomy in its own defense. The summit will focus on making the alliance more flexible and equal, ready for today's and tomorrow's challenges. Success will cement the alliance as the linchpin of peace on the peninsula. A core tension in the alliance is America's nuclear security commitment to South Korea. Facing a growing North Korean threat, South Korea wants explicit US guarantees, no more vague promises. The US prefers strategic ambiguity, believing it deters adversaries without limiting its options. This difference is widening, with some in Seoul even calling for a NATO-style nuclear sharing agreement. Public pressure in South Korea is mounting, with many supporting an independent nuclear arsenal if US assurances fall short. In the US, any move toward explicit guarantees faces political and non-proliferation hurdles. Bridging this gap is crucial for alliance cohesion and trust. The nuclear dilemma is as much about politics as it is about military strategy. To address South Korea's doubts, the Allies have launched the Nuclear Consultative Group and staged high-profile military demonstrations. Yet skepticism lingers. Would the US really risk its own cities to defend Seoul? Without stronger trust, calls for South Korea's own nuclear weapons could grow. Experts say real confidence requires deeper institutional ties, like joint planning and regular crisis simulations. Integrating South Korean officials into nuclear decision-making could make deterrence more credible. Building trust is a continuous process, not a one-time fix. The US-South Korea alliance, once focused mainly on deterring North Korea, is now increasingly shaped by Washington's intensifying rivalry with China. As global power dynamics shift, the partnership between these two countries has taken on new significance, extending far beyond the Korean Peninsula. The United States is urging its allies to present a united front to counter China's growing military and economic influence in the region. In this strategy, South Korea is seen as a crucial player not only because of its geographic location but also due to its advanced technology and strong economy. While Seoul has aligned itself more closely with US strategic goals, it faces a delicate balancing act. South Korea is wary of provoking China, which remains its largest trading partner and a key market for its exports. This economic dependence makes every diplomatic move a careful calculation. South Korea's tilt toward Washington is evident in its deepening security cooperation, increased participation in joint military exercises, and willingness to join US-led economic initiatives like supply chain partnerships and technology alliances. However, this strategic shift comes with significant risks. South Korea must weigh the benefits of enhanced security against the potential for economic retaliation from China, which could impact industries from semiconductors to automobiles. The debate within South Korea is intense. Security hawks argue that closer ties with the US are essential for national defense, while business leaders and some politicians warn that antagonizing China could threaten jobs and economic growth. Public opinion remains divided, reflecting the high stakes involved. For now, the security argument is prevailing, with South Korea further integrating into the US regional strategy. Joint military drills and high-level defense talks have become more frequent, signaling a commitment to the alliance. As the US-China rivalry continues to reshape Asia, the future of the US-South Korea alliance will play a pivotal role in determining the region's balance of power, stability, and economic prosperity for years to come. The US, South Korea, and Japan are building a trilateral partnership to address shared security threats. Washington sees this as essential for Indo-Pacific stability, especially against North Korea and China. Recent diplomatic efforts have focused on making the three militaries more interoperable and ready to act together. For South Korea, working with Japan is complicated by history, but the security environment demands closer cooperation. The goal: a united front that deters aggression and upholds a rules-based order. Success depends on overcoming old grievances and maintaining political will in all three countries. A strong trilateral alliance is now a top priority for regional security. South Korea's foreign policy is a high-wire act, relying on the US for security while needing China for economic survival. Strengthening the US alliance is vital, especially for nuclear deterrence, but antagonizing China could hurt South Korea's economy. President Lee is trying to reinforce ties with Washington without alienating Beijing, a delicate balancing act. The alliance's future depends on resolving trade and defense disputes, bridging nuclear expectations, and defining its role in US-China competition. The stakes are high. Failure could weaken deterrence and push South Korea toward drastic measures like its own nuclear program. Success would reinforce stability and show how alliances can adapt to new challenges. The choices made now will shape peace and security across Asia.